Hello. Well, I'm in my basement, and actually someday I'll show you my basement, but right now it's kind of a mess. I want to do just a little bit of old news, and I'm probably going to do this regularly. Today I want to talk about this aspirin study that I found, and it's actually from December 5th of 1991, and it was an Associated Press article. It came out of Boston. People who regularly take aspirin nearly cut in half their risk of colon cancer, the nation's second leading cancer killer, a major study concludes. The finding, if true, means this common medicine could be an important weapon against both cancer and heart disease, the two most common fatal diseases. The latest study found that men and women who took aspirin at least 16 times a month had a 40% lower risk of dying from colon cancer than did non-users. The research was conducted on 662,424 people by the American Cancer Society. The findings, part of a study that began 10 years ago, were published in today's New England Journal of Medicine. Remember, this is from 1991. A smaller study released recently by Boston University researchers came to a similar conclusion. Many people are already taking aspirin routinely to prevent heart disease. Studies have shown that an aspirin, pardon me, my asthma is acting up, an aspirin every other day cuts the heart attack risk nearly in half, too. And here's a quote. If people are on the advice of their physicians already taking an aspirin every other day for heart disease, it is also possible that they may be reducing their risk of colon cancer, end quote. That is from Dr. Michael J. Thune, who directed the study. I don't know which study he directed, if he did the original one or the one in Boston. However, he and others believe considerably more research is needed before the evidence is strong enough to advise people to take aspirin solely to prevent cancer. So I did some more research because this is from 1991, the article anyway. I did some research on the internet real quickly, and I did find that this is still holding true. And from what I remember reading just recently, the aspirin is believed to tell your body to seek out and destroy cancer cells in the colon. And I don't understand it all. I don't think they understand it all. It is an every other day thing. Of course, some people can't take aspirin every other day. Obviously, hemophiliacs can't. And there are other people who are already taking medication that is thinning their blood, and they can't take it either. So it is something where, you don't just want to start on it right now, but this is near and dear to my, to my colon. I've had 2 partial colectomies in the last 2.5, almost 3 years. I've lost 16 centimeters of my colon in total between the 2 surgeries because of grotesquely large polyps that were precancerous. So this really interested me. But mostly I like looking back at old studies because a lot of times the studies were done and then they published their findings, and then they did a peer review study somewhere else, somebody else, and those findings turned out to be not as accurate as they thought. There were other things at play maybe. So this is just the first, I would call it a Throwback Thursday, but today is Friday. Just a little thing that I found in an old newspaper. I have a whole bunch of articles from these old newspapers that I have, and I'm going to be going through them. I thought this was the most interesting. I really like it. And I like the fact that I can look it up online and find there is more information about it now than there was. So if you're interested in learning more about this, just go ahead and do a search. I use Bing. If you use Google, that's fine. And just type in aspirin to reduce colon cancer risk, and you will come upon quite a few articles that'll talk about the reasons. You might get some technical articles that I don't read. WebMD has some good information, and I can't think of what the other ones were that I saw, but really good studies. I'm happy they're doing them. I'm thrilled to see that this is helping. I believe the number was a 40% drop in your risk, so that's significant. This says almost half. Cuts your risk almost in half. It was around 40% if I remember correct. Oh yeah, right there. Yeah, it's right there in the article actually. Duh, 40%. So anyway, you guys have a good day. I'm going to cut this short now, and I will talk to you soon.